Hello, folks. How's everybody doing out there? Let me just check this is on the right settings, and that's the right mic, and we're all good to go. That looks pretty good. Welcome to the wet, rainy Tuesday afternoon. I can tell it's rainy because it's midsummer. It's midsummer in London, in England, in the United Kingdom. There are places in the country that are getting a month's worth of rainfall in 48 hours right now. The part of London where I live is not quite one of them, but yeah, it's a good day to sit inside and write code and stream it on the internet. So welcome. So I had a couple of sessions. Up until now, all the stuff I've been doing on Rockstar 2 has been streaming. And I said to myself, I'm gonna run the whole thing live on Twitch. And what I realized, there are certain kinds of development which kind of lend themselves to, figuring stuff out on camera and folks offering comments in the chat and all that kind of stuff. And there are certain kinds of development that are basically me staring at a screen of code going, and then another half hour of me going, and so what I've been doing is plugging in, just sort of figuring out a bunch of stuff. So those of you who have been sort of following the streams, Rockstar now or Rockstar 2 is now considerably ahead of where it was the last time that I showed it to any of you folks. So what I've been doing is going through just a sort of quick recap on where we're at. So the plan is, first of all, I am going to get a Rockstar in .NET. There's this kind of good engineering principle that you don't want to try to change too many things at the same time, because then if something doesn't work, there's like 5 different reasons why it didn't work, and you don't want to be trying to eliminate those combinations of variables. So the first milestone I'm trying to hit is a .NET implementation of Rockstar as it currently exists. So the exact same language, specification, basically the test suite from Rockstar 1 running in .NET, in Blazor, or actually I gotta stop calling it Blazor because it's not Blazor. Blazor is a front-end framework. What I've got C# code compiled to WebAssembly, but the user interface that sits in front of it is gonna be native HTML and JavaScript. So this is not a Blazor project per se. It might end up becoming one. The reason why it's not is because predominantly this is not an application. It's going to be interactive documentation, kind of like a Jupyter notebook, if any of you folks know the way Python stuff works. And so I wanted to find something. Rockstar 1's written in JavaScript. Well, actually, Rockstar 1, my implementation is written in JavaScript. There are a bunch of different implementations. There's one called Rocky, which is built in Java. And what kind of makes it possible is there is a cross-platform test suite. So part of the Rockstar project, let me just bring up a GitHub window so I can show you folks what we're talking about here. So if I go to Rockstar Lang, there we go, the Rockstar programming language spec. And what we've got in Rockstar 1 is there is a test suite. If I go into tests here and go into fixtures, there are basically all of these little snippets which have a .rock file and a .rock.out file. And every single one of these is a script and then a corresponding file that tells you what that script should do. And so you can run test suites that run all these programs, capture their output, and compare it to the .out file. So anybody who wants to build a Rockstar interpreter can absolutely do that in whatever language they want to use. So there's one in, mine is JavaScript, mine is Satriani, the code is in here. So that's there, and it uses a thing called PegJS, which is a parsing expression grammar, which I think is called Peggy now. I think PegJS got replaced with PeggyJS. Yeah, so try Peggy online. And so if we grab the Rockstar grammar that we got here, and the kind of interesting thing about the way that this thing worked was that it just compiles. So the grammar translates Rockstar to JSON. So if I put it in here, shout hello world, you'll see that the output we get from here is this. And if I whack that up a little bit so you can see it, the output is a JSON expression representing a parsing tree representing the structure of that Rockstar program. Shout hello world. If my love is greater than your lies, shout it's the truth, else break it down. And that will, and so you can see, and this was fun. Like, I really enjoyed putting this together. But the reason why I'm completely translating the whole thing is I want Rockstar native binaries with no dependencies for Windows, Linux, Mac OS, so that if you want to run Rockstar on your own machine, the way people run Python, or they run, you know, any, I was going to say Node.js, but that's a terrible example for all kinds of reasons. And so step one is to get exact feature parity, syntax parity, everything working in C# exactly the same as it currently does in JavaScript, and then start changing the bits of the language that I don't like, because I invented it in a bar, and lots of things... There's lots of things in Rockstar that were in there because it looked like it was a throwaway gag in the specification that turned out to be incredibly either bad to implement or just, you know, the more as kind of time I've spent playing around with this daft comedy project, the more I like the idea of a formal grammar that you can write just about anything. You know, it's inspired by rock and roll lyrics, but you want to use it to write haiku, or you want to use it to write, you know, sonnets or poetry or Shakespearean language, anything like that. I think it should be possible to do all of those things. So anyway, what I've got is I got that complete set of fixtures in here. And I'm just kind of going through and seeing what works and why it doesn't work, and you know, how far short am I with the .NET implementation of full feature parity with Satriani. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff that we've got plugged in here that's working now. Conditionals are working. The next thing that I think I need to look at today is, so I got a couple of other things. Now, one of the things that makes this a little bit kind of frustrating, I guess, is a lot of these tests were kind of retrofitted. And so, for example, this is part of the test suite for conditionals, but it's got a function definition in it. Hey, Martin, welcome. How you doing? And so until I've implemented... Now, this is just checking that functions are true, because a function is an object reference, and an object reference should be truthy in Rockstar. But I haven't got functions yet. Like those things don't exist. So what I've been doing is going through all of these fixtures and trying to figure out what represents the sort of smallest increment from where we are now and where I want to be next. And so I'm going to look at this one. So one of the things that Rockstar does is a thing called a compound assignment. So let x be with 1. So we got this syntax, you know, so you can say let x be 1, and you can say let y be 2, and you can say let x or let z be x with y, and that's addition. But you could also say let z be with y, and that's like z plus equals y, if you're familiar with languages that use that kind of shorthand. And so what I want to do today is we'll start off by plugging in support for these things with what I call compound assignments. So the syntax that we got here is, let's take a look at that. So this is, there we go. Aussie's always creeping up on you. All right, I like that. Let it be with Aussie shadow. So I'm going to grab that little now I'm doing all these things, like I'm kind of doubling up on the testing here. I'm writing .NET tests with XUnit to check that the parser validates them, and then using the fixtures test runner to make sure that the code, the file runs and produces the right output. Martin says, my brain was feeling a little clear, so I thought I'd come and let you break my brain for a bit. Well, that's what we do best of all. Breaking brains and taking names. Right, so let's go into, so what is this? This is a compound, was it a compound assignment? Is that what I called these things? Compound assignments.rock. Okay, so let's go into literal tests, just because it's in the right place. Let me move, fix all of those in project so all the tests are in the right files. And let's public class, so this is going to be a compound assignment. Good afternoon, Ramblin' Geek. Welcome to the stream. Compound assignment tests, and these tests, they're basically all the same. All I'm doing is I'm plugging in a little theory, a bunch of inline data, breaking brains and taking names. Well, so no, that won't compile unless you put capital B on brains, because actually breaking might be, I don't know, we'll come back to that. We'll put a pin in that. Hello, Dev. Yes, I am well, I'm not making a Rockstar framework. I'm making a Rockstar interpreter. I'm building a compiler for the Rockstar esoteric programming language. And from time to time, people say, you need to have one of those things on your stream so people can ask what you're working on, and it does automatic stuff. And I don't have that yet, but if you ask nicely, I'll paste the link again so you can all see what's going on with it. So let's have a theory, and then inline data, let x be with y, and then I'm just going to crib in here a... there's a lot of very repetitive tests in here at the moment, but that's kind of all right because they're repetitive because they don't have a reason to be different yet. And this needs to take a test output helper. And, all right. I'm wondering if I should extract a base class for a whole bunch of this stuff. Public class parser test base I test output helper output. Yeah. So one of the things that let's see what this is going to look like. The new primary constructors in C#, which I love because they're very cool, but they do get some weird places where you're like, I don't know what that variable means anymore or where it thinks it came from. So parser test base. Streamer.bot, take a look, quick way to automate. Boom, streamer.bot, let's have a look. What do we got? Supercharge your live stream. Yeah, all right. Why streamer.bot? Lightweight but powerful, like a nuclear squirrel. Advanced automations, custom script. It's got a C# on it. That's got to be like, how can it possibly be bad? What sets the bot apart from the pack is the ability to run custom C# code. All right. Oh, yeah. There we go. We've been on stream for 14 minutes and we're already off-piste and doing something I wasn't looking at doing today. Okay, let's... I'm going to play. So, okay, here's an idea. Every time I do a stream, I'm going to add one little thing to StreamerBot. Just one fix, one tiny little thing. Features, downloads, streamer.bot. Yeah, all right. That looks like a good thing to download. Let's stick that on my desktop over here. There we go. Woo! Did that? Yay. I love gigabit fiber. It's so good. What do I do with it now I've downloaded it? All right, that looks to me like a massive zip file full of DLLs. All right, docs. I'm looking for getting started. Get started. Your bot, yes. Fundamentals, actions and sub-actions. Sending messages to Twitch chat. Controlling OBS Studio. Play text to speech audio. Yes. All right. Installation. Download a zip. Yeah, extract the zip to your desired location. Open the directory and execute streamer.bot.exe. You got to ask yourself one question, folks. Am I feeling lucky? Right, let's do So, C, program files. Yeah, continue. We can do that. Streamer.bot. All the things. Yep. Howdy, Code with Sean. Hello, Surly. How are you? That's me saying hello to Surly Dev, not me saying Code with Sean is Surly. Do this for all current items. Yes, please. Boom. All right. Now, somewhere in here, there's a thing that is not... there it is. Streamerbot.exe. Streamerbot is unable to write to the folder it's currently running in. Well, that's interesting. Goodness. Okay, so that's because I've put it in C program files, but it can't do that because it can't run as an administrator. So where... there's a... what's the Windows E folder for, like... Windows local user program. It's where like Google Chrome and stuff get installed. There it is. C users, my user app data local programs. So if we copy that and we come over here and we spin up one of those, Alt D for the address bar, paste that, drop that in there, and then from here I copy StreamerBot out of there and into there. Welcome to the stream. Today we're copying files. Program data. Program data? No, that's C program data. I think I want app data local programs. Yes, local app data programs is the default folder to install programs for a single user only. So the other week I did actually have the rare experience. I had someone in painting my house, and literally I had to choose between staying at home watching the paint dry and going and watching England play in the Euros. And I went to watch England play in the Euros, and I think I chose wrong. I mean, they didn't lose, but it was like watching paint dry would have probably been better entertainment. Yeah, move that to there. That's fine. Right, let's try that again. So there's that, and there's that, and there's StreamerBot. And now I should be able to run streamerbot.exe and well, that's exciting. It's spinning. Oh, look at this. It's got actions and cues and add. Oh, name, group. I have no. This is a WinForms app, isn't it? This is a Windows Forms application. Oh, and it's not every day that you see a WinForms app that's dedicated to somebody's mother. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that really something? Clips.twitch.tv poised to. I'm going to click the link that Surly just put in here. And there we go. So I found this. This is another WinForms app. This is a little thing that I found. That when you click a link, it says, hey, which browser would you like to use today to open that link today? Because sometimes you got stuff that you want to open in a particular profile or something, which is quite cool. Howdy, Code with Sean. Hello. Oh, that's me, yeah. What's it called? I should find out what it's called because it's useful. Default browser, default apps, system settings. There we go. Browser Picker. It's called Browser Picker. And yeah, it's open source, written in .NET, C#, WinForms. Come on, Kaggy, you can do it. Yeah. So yeah, if you want that, set that as your default browser, and you can set up shortcuts, like every time you go to, I don't know, reddit.com, you want Reddit to always open in Vivaldi or something like that. Right, what are we doing? We are setting up one thing. So what should we get StreamerBot to do? Yeah. So features, all right, docs, that's there. What's the thing that the cool kids do where they like type project or something? Twitter, not Twitter, Twitch, what project thing? Somewhere somebody must have written down the things that people expect Twitch to do. I have a browser with less than 20 tabs open, so I have a plugin that closes browser tabs that haven't been touched in 20 minutes. And I'm also pretty militant about closing stuff, just because memory is nice and I like it. Also, the screen that you can see here, that is not the only screen. If I hang on. Let's break the fourth wall here just for a second. There we go. So we got screens 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is across there behind the green screen up on the standing desk. So yeah. I do have a lot of tabs. They're just not all in one place. Right. What were we doing? We were going to set up a thing, weren't we? We're going to set up a command so that when someone does something in the examples, let's try. Okay. So viewers, and what is the plugin called? Which plugin? Oh, the tab killer. It's called tab closer or something. Yeah. Tab closer automatically eliminates your pesky leftover tabs for all kinds of things. Actually, no, that's not it. This is a new one. This is one that, because you know sometimes like you click a link to a Zoom meeting, cable in frame. Thank you very much. Boom, there we go. Wireless, they said. We're going to go wireless. The future is wireless. What it means now is that you have one wire for your receiver, another one for your transmitter, so you've got twice as many wires as you ever had before. It's one of the many things called tab closer. I can't remember exactly which one's on here. All right, let's... that looks like fun. A chat message timer. This is missing documentation. If you know how to use this feature, please consider contributing. Yay. Well, that's... all right, let's make it up as we go along. Where's StreamerBot? StreamerBot is there. Right-click, add. What do I want to add? I want to add a name, Hello World, and we're going to put this in a group called I don't have any groups. Dylan's first group, and... what? Okay. Triggers. Twitch. Wow. Yeah, we're not going to do this today. This is all complicated. I'm going to do Rockstar instead, because building a parser and interpreter for an esoteric language is more exciting than trying to get streaming plugins working. I'll come back to that later when I've had a chance to figure it out a little bit. Right, here we go. So, compound assignment test. So what I'm doing in here is, I was just doing a little bit of refactoring stuff here. So let's do that. Implement missing members. Yeah, that inherits from there. That inherits from there. This is that weird thing with the kind of primary constructors and stuff in .NET is like I got this output thing here, and output here is like valid, but yeah, you're like, well, where should it be? So anyway, so what I'm going to do for that is I'm just going to say that goes to parse source. And that can go up here, so we'll drop that in there. This is going to be a protected void parse, and string source takes that, var parser equals new parser. That's cool, figure that out. There's a really useful diagnostics tracer in the I'm using a thing called Pegasus, which is an expression grammar parser generator for .NET. And it's got a really good diagnostics mode, but that just generates a lot of output, so I kind of switch that on and off as I need to. Equals parse source, and that should do for that. And so now I should be able to, let's move everything into its own file, move types in project. There we go, that's cool. I can get rid of a bunch of unused directives in that project too. All right. So we are in, save all the things, go into compound assignment tests. There we go. All right, so let X be with Y. All I'm checking here is, can the parser handle that? And it can't. And if I click that, it's got unexpected Y at line 1. And okay, that's curious, because I wouldn't have expected that to be the thing that broke it. Let's find that in here. So that's the unexpected Y at line 1, column 15. So if I take that out, I think at that point it's assigning it. I think that with is a valid operator in that. So welcome back, Ramblin' Geek. We have put StreamerBot to the side for a little while because it's got a lot of options and I don't know what any of them do. And it's a bit like getting into a rented space shuttle and going, yeah. So instead I'm going to stick to this. Okay, so what this is doing here this is interesting because that let x be with parser.parse. So let's fix up parser.parse there, and I don't want that. I need that on so that that button becomes F12, which is useful. And if I switch on that and I find compound assignment tests, yeah, so what that's doing now is it is finding it's trying to assign it to a variable called width. You need a command on YouTube to run ads on Twitch. No, we're not going to turn this into like a streaming platform turf war. Besides, I don't have any adverts on anything ever, as far as I know. Actually, I do on my YouTube stuff. My YouTube channel is monetized. Sally says, hi Dylan and Wayne and Sean. Oh no, don't cross the streams. There's no need for real names here. Although actually I use my real name on literally everything these days. When I was, I used to be on a bulletin board system when I was at university. And like, you know, we'd all telnet into the BBS and we'd chat. And then it was the holidays and everyone went, yeah, let's all meet up when we're back home. And so we all exchanged phone numbers. But nobody thought to tell anybody their real names. And so I had made this phone call, and this genteel old lady answers the telephone, and I suddenly realized that I have no idea the name of the person I want to talk to, and I had to ask if Captain Nemo was available, and Captain Nemo was not available. So I asked very nicely if they had a son or a daughter who was at the University of Plymouth. And went, oh, Paul, I'll go get him. And after that, I decided. She said, "Who shall I tell him's calling?" I like tell him it's Jabba the Hutt. So after that, I decided I was going to use my real name for stuff. So okay, so parses conditionals. All right, so what that's doing at the moment, hey Stony, welcome, is we are assigning that to a variable called x. Now this is one of the kind of fun things is there isn't an easy way in a parsing expression grammar to say that a variable can't be a keyword unless you explicitly define a set of keywords to be something else. So let's see if I can make that fail, because that shouldn't be valid. And at the moment that's like, oh yeah, well you've obviously got a variable called width, and so you're letting x be width. So it's just an assignment, and you can see here it's got a lookup on that. So if we go into the grammar, which is rockstar.peg. Now, at this point, I'm just going to shrink that down and drop that out of the way a little bit. I'm going to make that wider and that narrower, and I don't need to show the server where the stuff's running because it's all local, and I probably don't need the status on there, which means I can shrink that even further. There we go. That's nice. And all right, so what do we want to do? I want to put a rule in here that says that a variable name cannot be a language keyword. And the variable name rule in here is, there's v for variable, v for variable, v for variable. A variable can be a pronoun or a common variable or a proper variable or a simple variable. And I wonder, do I have a keyword rule in here? Yeah, so we've got that. So proper noun can't be a keyword, so that's in. So if I say a common variable can't be a keyword, well actually that's a limited, because common prefix there has to be something. So let's say simple variable here cannot be a keyword. So we'll drop that in there. We'll see what we get out of here. That's probably still going to be okay, because I don't think width is part of the keywords collection. But if I go to that, and so this is the bit where once I've figured out the structure of this, I'm going to have to come back and rebuild this part of it, because it's probably pretty easy to, there we go, boom, unexpected let, that's good. It's probably pretty easy to plug in like a macro that just pulls all of the quoted strings out of this file, and then that's my keyword list, and so I can use that to maintain what it does. But at the moment, I don't have that, so I'm just kind of building these lists out by hand. So unexpected let at line 1, that's good. So let's go over to that compound assignment tests. And so if I say let x be 5, save that, that test should go green. Boom, okay, that's good. Let x be with 5 should now, so that's the thing I want, and that is now saying unexpected let. And the reason it's saying unexpected let is it's not like it's got this far and then found a problem. That error is saying I could not, like, there is no way of getting from where you started to anything that I recognize. The thing you gave me does not represent the beginning of any logical parsing operation. So I'm going to jump back over to this. I'm going to find the rule that sets assignments. And at this point, I'm going to plug another one in here. And this is going to be let variable be. And I think at this point I can plug in an operator. Operator, and then white space, and then expression. And that now should parse. Operator does not exist. Yeah, it does. Does operator exist? Okay, so I've got the operators defined there. Where are the operator keywords? So I'm looking for plus, minus, times, divide. Okay, so that's what I need to plug in. So let's stick a rule in here that says an operator is a plus or minus or times or divide. And that returns an operator. So there's the rule for that. That's been baked in now. So that should now compile, which means that parser should, interesting, unexpected let. So the parser still can't pick it up. So let's figure out why that's not working. So the rule we are matching here is let variable be own operator e expression, and that should so let x be with 5. So let is definitely fine. X definitely parses as a variable. B is a keyword or plain text, so it's a plain token. Operator expression. With 5 should parse as operator expression. That's really great. When this framework is done, I will use it for web development. So one of the open questions, Dev, is whether Rockstar is going to have any kind of I/O, like whether it'll support files and network sockets and that kind of stuff. Because there is a strong argument that if you don't give anybody those things, they will never use it for anything serious, and that's a big deal, because I don't want to be responsible for some poor junior developer joining the company and discovering that the senior architect decided to rebuild their stack in Rockstar, and did, and then left them to clean up the mess. Let variable be operator expression. That should parse. So let me find that operator rule again. So there's operator. Okay, so this is interesting. So operators include their own surrounding white space, the way I've got this defined. And the reason for that is that you can do this. You can do 5 plus 4 without any space around it, but you can't do 5 with 4, because that's not valid. Because if you got two variables, you can have x plus y, but x with y, well, that's an identifier. So the operator syntax. Okay, so what I need to do is that the okay, so I'm gonna, there's a convention I used in a couple of places here, which is that if a rule includes its own surrounding white space, I'm going to put those actually as part of the rule name. So I'm going to do that. That's going to make this just a little easier to see what's going on. So plus, minus, times, divide. So we'll surround all of those, and then plus, minus, times, and divide drops into there. So underscores on the beginning and the end of that. And now we can flatten that list again. So operator is a plus, a minus, a times, or a divide. And now I just need to find the other rules that use those, which are sum is, so that's going to be a plus or a minus. And that's going to be a times or a divide. And that's the right-hand side as a primary, right-hand side as a product. So that should now compile. No, okay. There's a interesting. There's a unary minus. What is really kind of fun about a lot of this is seeing these weird edge cases where you're like, will that work? Like in theory, because in Rockstar you have subtraction. You can say like 5 without 3, and that will print 2, because 5 minus 3 is 2. But because we've got unary minus, in theory you could just have say without 3, and that will print minus 3. Because if you have nothing and then you remove 3, so you have nothing without 3, it's 0 minus 3. Yeah, I don't know. All right, that built. That's cool. And that is now failing. Still unexpected let. All right, that's good. Unexpected let, but unexpected let because the rule is incorrect. Because that assignment needs to be the operator there includes its own stuff. So let's find that operator rule, which is there. And I'm going to call that ding op ding. I'm going to call it that because that's easier. And now I'm going to find the other reference to operator. And there's that. Build the grammar again. That's already running because ncrunch is brilliant and it just runs stuff all the time. And there we go. Parser, parses, simple conditional. Let x be with 5. Assignment, variable x, number 5. So I now just need to return a different kind of assignment for that. And what is that gonna be? Let me see. So I'm just gonna crib back and see how I did that back in the JavaScript version of this. So let me just close a couple of windows here. Yeah, that's all good. There's one of those. Satriani's Rockstar peg. So I'm looking for width. And somewhere in here there will be a compoundable operator, and let x be so you can actually do this. What I've done here, which is kind of neat, is the expression x equals 5 compiles to, let me show you. So down here we're going to say that is an assignment. So let variable be o.op with e.expression, and so that is actually going to be a assign v to a new binary, and the binary is going to be, I think it's operator left-hand side, right-hand side. Op, left-hand side, right-hand side. So that is going to be O is the operator. The left-hand side is going to be a lookup of V. And lookup takes, I think, just a variable and a location. Yeah, so that's going to take state.source. And the result is going to be... oh, look up E, that should work. So now we rebuild that using the lookup, because lookups need to be umlauted, because lookup means something different in .NET. So there's a little diaresis above the letter U there to make it more heavy metal compliant. So that cannot be used like a method because that's a new lookup, and binary can't be used like a method, so that's a new lookup. And there is no given parameter binary operator expression. So binary operator, expression, expression, state.source. I'm probably going to regret the state.source sprinkling all over this. Argument 4 cannot convert from method group there. Boom. All right. And so now that thing, there we go. Excellent. So now what our assignment is doing is it's saying we'll take the variable x and assign it to plus of x and 5. So that's x plus equals 5. So I can jump back over here now into our compound assignment tests, and let's just plug in a bunch more cases. Let x be without 5. Let x be over 2. Let the night be without regret. Because, you know, Rockstar, that's what we do with it. Okay, so we've got that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. Let the night be the night without regret. Okay, so that's, and that requires no support in the interpreter now, because it already works. So compound assignments, there, that's gone green. So boom, we just shipped another language feature. So get cracking, get cracking, get cracking. Come on, where are you? Like, yeah, AI is all well and good, but can you find something that just finds my own windows on my own computer? That I think I closed it. There we go. So what do we got? Okay, that's fine. Rockstar's grammar's there. Value.cs just had a bunch of other things that I was working on. Yep. Plug all that lot in. And let's ship that. So what do we just do? Compound assignments. Let x be with 5 are working. Boom. And yeah, something along those lines. Something very, very much along those lines. I should take some really good green screen pictures of that hat and just stick them on my website so that folks can throw them into whatever they want, right? Like, that'd be a fun thing to do. And not that difficult. It's not like I don't have a green screen or camera and all that stuff already set up. Okay, cool. Right, what's next? 47 tests are failing. Let's look at operators. Subtract operator. Let's have a look at the subtract operator. The method is not implemented. So where is that blowing up? Value minus value that. Okay, so this is fun. This is the bit where you got to figure out what does minus mean for various combinations of types. So let me throw in, I'm going to change those exceptions to, instead of that, that's going to throw boom is name of more than. So this is, nobody like using Rockstar should ever see this, but it's incredibly useful when you're implementing it. Because it'll show me exactly what it is that's unsupported and what the edge case is with that. No, that's not going to work. So that's toString. No, that's different. So boom here is a method that builds an exception, and it builds the exception based on the name you give it. And right, yep. That should be that. And so by wrapping up the exception helper, so that's thrown from line 44, which is there. So if I replace that with a boom wrapper, throw boom, and this is name of minus, and this and that. And let's see what's actually complaining here. So that builds, and that says minus is not implemented for null minus number. So what I think I need here is a sort of a generic, probably an interface on things that can have a numeric value. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So what I got this value type. and some values can have a numeric type and some can't. So number wraps a decimal, so that's got a thing. Boolean, true and false, probably we'll just say those are equal to 1 and 0. There's a lot of JavaScript-y stuff going on with the way all this stuff hangs together. So what I'm probably going to do here is I'm going to take let's find the number class, and let's plug in a public interface numeric. I have a number. I'm thinking through implications of like greater than, less than comparisons on like a number. Is the string foo greater than null? You know, that kind of thing. So let's try public interface I have a number, and this just has a decimal number value, quantity, we gotta call it something. Magnitude. All right. And then in here, I'm going to say that I have a number. And so now on that, we can plug in decimal numeric value get. That's cool. Value source, I have a number. That should have popped up and said, you do want to implement the interface? Yes, I do. All right, there we go. So numeric value is gonna, so for numbers, numeric value is the underlying decimal. It's what's ever wrapped up in it. So let's find Boolean here, and this one we're gonna say I have a number, and then implement that as well. And then so for numeric value, the value of that is gonna be if value.truthy, then I know this has just got a value, isn't it? Value then 1.0m else 0.0m, or just 0m actually. It's a decimal, so the m coerces it, and I think, yeah, I get type conversion automatically, so it'll pass that as a literal. So that's Booleans. And what else have we got in here? Let's have a look at null. So null will have a numeric value. I have a number, and then on here we'll have an override on numeric value. On this will always return 0, because null's equivalent to 0 for comparison. And so now in the interpreter value thing here, I should be able to find, so we've got this thing minus is not implemented. That's where this is blowing up. It's saying you haven't told me how to subtract these two things. So in theory, I can come in here, I can put a thing in here, and I can say if this is I have a number A, I have a number B, then we are going to return a new number, which is A.numeric value minus B.numeric value. And in theory, what that means, so now that will never get triggered, that won't kick in. Yeah, so there's that. Did that just magically start working? Yeah, it did. 46 failing. All right. Magical implementation. So now I can plug in exactly the same pattern for anything in here which uses arithmetic. So I have a number, I have a B, and this will be A times numeric value multiplied by that. So that's cool. Division is going to do the same thing. That divided by that. Equality is a little more complicated. We'll come back to that. Now, the exact details of comparing numbers and strings and that kind of thing, we'll come back to. That's not something I want to plug in at the moment. So we're down to 45 failing tests on here. And let's take a look. Operators, ordering, comparison, less than is not implemented. So let's find the greater than and less than, and I'm going to do the same with the numeric values on those. So there's equals Does not equals to. Less than equal is, well, if I have a number a and b, we are going to return a new boolean, or boolean, because it's got an umlaut on it, and this is less than or equal that one. So constructor boolean has 2 parameters. It should not have to have 2 parameters. We need another constructor on here. We need a boolean which takes a bool value and just inherits from base value source.none. Yep, so that's cool. That's in, and that's a this, not a base, because it's a you know, thingy, polymorphism, not inheritance. I wonder if I can do that. Because the Boolean type in Rockstar has explicit coercion and explicit conversion for various kinds of types. And what I'm wondering is, whether there's an easier way, because this just feels very repetitive to me. Like we're going to end up, or I'm going to end up doing the same thing in a bunch of places. So that's more than or equal means that is going to become greater than or equal. And I went with more than instead of greater than, because more than and less than are the same length, and that means something to me. I find that pleasing. So less than is going to be less than, and somewhere in here there should be a more than method, which is in the wrong place. So let's grab that, crib that down here. Less than equal, more than equal, less than, more than. Yep, build that. Why did this get recommended to you? I don't know, Chang the Destroyer. The YouTube algorithm is wise and wants you to have a happy life. I don't know, you've been watching programming videos? You've been watching esoteric languages? You're going to have to ask the people who run the recommendation algorithm, which I'm afraid is not me. As much as I'd love that, because I'd show people a lot of chill stuff that just, like a bunch of guys in Lahore just making like teapots out of old recycled aluminium beer cans. That stuff is super chill. But, yes, I accept zero responsibility for your being here. You want to stick around? Hey, you're very welcome to. Right, what do we got? We are down to 45 failing tests. Ordering comparison is blowing up. Less than is not implemented for string. All right, let's fix that. So down here we've got, so string A and... So what's the... And this is one of those, like, you got to make a decision about what's less than what, you know. Let me take a look at the test that actually does this. So 6 is as low as 5, 6 is higher. Is Rockstar 2 going to have more rigorous specification than Rockstar 1? Yes, absolutely it is. Are you one of the code golfers by any chance? I know the code golfers had a lot of issues with Rockstar being insufficiently rigorous for their golfing requirements, but all right, we'll get this working, and then we'll go back and we can clean it up later. So string A, and no, that's not a string, it's a string. There we go. String A to anything is going to return A dot value is greater than that dot toString dot value. That's interesting. Cannot apply greater than to operands of type string. Of course you can't. This is .NET. How is it possible for a coding language to be based on lyrics? So there are a lot of conventions in rock and roll that you can adapt to give you various ways of expressing things that are meaningful to a compiler. If you go to code with rockstar.com and have a look in the so in the GitHub repo, there's a bunch in tests or examples. Actually, it's got some good ones in it. And so 99beers.rock. No, that's a bad one because someone messed that up. This is the sort of canonical. So this is FizzBuzz in Rockstar. And so midnight takes your heart and your soul. That's a function definition. We got a function called midnight, and it takes two parameters. One of them is called your heart, and the other one is called your soul. And then while is a loop. And hello, Jake. While your heart is as high as your soul, so that's a comparison operator. Put your heart without your soul. So your heart without your soul is a subtraction expression. X without y, x minus y, your heart without your soul. Put the result of that expression into your heart. So that's a decrement operator. And then give back your heart as a return expression. And then, so desire is a love-struck lady killer. The way that Rockstar 1 works is a parsing keyword that activates something called a poetic literal. And so what it does is it counts the number of letters in each of these words and treats that as a decimal digit. So we got A is one letter, so that's a digit 1. Love-struck, that's 10 letters. So that's 10 modulo 10 gives you 0, so that's 1, 0, 0. So that initializes desire with the value 100. And that's kind of how it works. Anything you need to do in a programming language, I tried to come up with a way of doing it that makes sense in the context of like, rock and roll lyrics. So plus, minus, you got with and without. So, like with or without you, the U2 tune. So right, what are we going to do in here? We're doing a.value. So how do I do a string comparison in .NET? So let's do a string dot compare a.value, and what does this thing return? Returns an int. A.value, that toString.value, string comparison, invariant culture, ignore case, no, invariant culture, but case sensitivity. It's not a practical language. No one should ever use this for anything important. All right. Okay, so that's flushed out a case there, so that's pretty cool. So let's go over here, drop in. That is less than 0, more than equal, so we'll drop in a case there. I am the creator of Rockstar Peppy 2137 underscore. This is all my fault. I accept full responsibility. All right, let's see what we got out of that. Okay, cool. So ordering comparison is now saying it doesn't know how to do more than on a number and a string, which is fun. So why is it trying? What's it trying to do with numbers and strings? What comparison works there? Let me look at the syntax for that. Let me see what it's actually trying to do. So we've got more than a number and a string. So we've got somewhere in here. Yeah. Number and a string. Yeah. More than a feeling is probably valid. I mean, we can throw that into a parser test. Let me just find one parser test base. That'll do. Public class fun lyric tests. Help that. Oh, hello. So I don't know if you folks are still out there. I'm going to take a... Oh, there we go. My window manager just crashed. And the video's frozen. And da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Right. This is entertaining. So you can still hear me. You got anything on there? I may need to...